Thank you very much for sticking around for the second half of the program. Our first piece, Home of Legends, does not have a, well, I mean it does, but it does not have a story per se, but it's written about the Brass Band Summer School, which is a famous summer program in England where musicians can go and study with the best brass band conductors and the best brass band players around and improve, their overall musicianship and learning of how to be in a brass band, since it's so popular over in England. And this was written as a tribute to all of the many fine musicians and conductors that have gone through that program. And it featured a wonderful offstage solo by our principal cornet, Rosie Fitzpatrick. Give him one more round of applause. The next work, Casper's Lament, by Jonathan Bates, is inspired by the lesser-known side to Casper the Friendly Ghost, a good ghost who, much to the annoyance of his uncles, chose to help people rather than scare them. And I think most of us are familiar with, the idea and the story behind Casper the Ghost. But despite the uplifting and joyful narrative to the stories, there was a much more tragic backstory of how he came to be. His mother passed away during his birth, leaving him to be raised only by his father, who was extremely devoted to him until the age of 12, when, having begged his father for a sled to play in the snow, Casper contracted pneumonia from playing out in the cold too long and passed away shortly after. Throughout his childhood years, the pair were inseparable, so much so that after his tragically young death, Casper simply could not leave his father to be alone in the mortal world. And as a result, he stuck around as the ghost that we have come to know and love today. So, please enjoy this different side of Casper and Casper's Lament. Thank you. The composer writes, the Viking Age lasted from the late 8th to the middle of the 11th century. During this period, Scandinavian warriors and merchants explored, plundered, and left a mark on numerous territories. The work is based on a series of 4 notes that appear in different forms, thematic, contrapuntal, or as an accompaniment. And the work is divided into 4 parts. First part is Northern Men. It says Vikings came from Scandinavia, and according to sources, they were above all skilled merchants. At first, the music is strong and full of character, and then it softens, somewhat highlighting the Northern men's acute perspicacity. The second section, Explorer, says Vikings were also fine explorers. They went on to colonize much of Northern Europe and even as far as North America, thanks to their vessels, which were lighter and more flexible than those that had been created before. The third section, Raids, says they were also pirates and thieves with frightening traits. They traversed the seas in Europe and beyond and sailed up rivers in Western Europe and Russia. Sweeping brassy phrases can be heard, supported by strong percussion. And then the last section is Heritage. It says the Viking Age came to an end following the establishment of royal authority and the spread of Christianity. The Vikings made a mark on much of Europe, Southwest Asia, North Africa, and as far northeast of North America. Nowadays, many people owe part of their common heritage to the Vikings. So please enjoy our next work, Viking Age. Thank you all again. Our last piece, I'm not sure, needs a whole lot of introduction. It's from Thor, The Dark World. The composer is Brian Tyler. Thor has a Scandinavian background, with Odin, and of course the movies have been famous over the last decade with the Marvel comic series and movie series. So please enjoy Thor: The Dark World, and thank you so much again for coming out tonight.